He left me a bad review. He left me a 1-star review.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Freak Show. So before I get started on today's topic, I just want to say a quick little thank you so much for all the love on my last video where I was talking about my domestic abuse story. I got so much love from it, and a lot of people sent me private messages after watching it, just saying such supportive words, and it means a lot to me. And I know that you guys know how hard it was for me to talk about that, so I just want to say thank you so much for the love on that video. It really meant a lot to me, and you guys are just really awesome. So enough gross sappy stuff. Let's get into today's topic. Oh my god, I'm gonna say a story that still kind of enrages me a little bit to this day. Disclaimer before I start ranting on today's topic. I don't want to seem like the type of person who's always just complaining about my clients, because that's not at all what it is. They're just, you know, the funnier stories to talk about and the most entertaining stories to talk about. I don't think it would make for a very good video to be like,
Hey guys, I had an awesome tattoo today and my client was perfect. Okay, story time over. Bye.
I don't feel like that would be a very entertaining video. So for today's topic, I'm going to be talking to you guys about the guy who left me a 1-star review and explaining the situation on why he left me a 1-star review. Let's get into it. This guy messages me on my Facebook page saying that he wants a tattoo. I'm like,
Cool dude, what do you want to get?
and he's like,
I want a half-sleeve Polynesian tattoo.
I don't know why, but it seems that everybody that comes to talk to me about wanting a half-sleeve Polynesian tattoo always ends up being the craziest of clients. Now, no shade, no judgment to people who have them or want them, but it just always seems to be the craziest of my clients, the people who want the half-sleeve Polynesian tattoos. Like the guy who broke into my house, that's what he was getting, a half-sleeve Polynesian tattoo. And now this guy with the bad review, that's what he wanted, a half-sleeve Polynesian tattoo. So I was like,
Cool dude, not a problem. Let's book a consultation. We'll talk about everything in person and you can let me know what you want to get.
so he comes over for the consultation. Everything is gravy, we're talking, everything seems fine, and he tells me everything that he wants. So I tell him that how I usually work is that I will book an appointment for you to start your project, an appointment for the tattoo, and I will show you the drawing about 3 days prior to the appointment. Okay, that's how I work with everybody. And then if you have little adjustments that you want to do on them, I usually do them all that same day and then resend you the finished project until you tell me, yep, that's perfect, that's exactly what I want. So I explain all that to him and he says everything is cool. So I start writing up the receipt for the deposit, and I ask for a $60 deposit. Now for everybody, I do the same thing. I always ask for a $60 deposit. So he's like, okay, well, I didn't bring any cash on me. Can I do an e-transfer to you? I'm like, not a problem. I have a lot of people who pay me that way. And then he was like, well, I don't know how to do an e-transfer. So I'm like, well, I could show you how. It's super simple and like not a problem. So I tried showing him how, but it wasn't working and he wasn't really letting me see his phone or anything like that, so I couldn't really help him. So he's like, I'm just gonna go to the ATM that's downstairs and I will come back and give you the deposit. I'm like, not a problem, dude. Like, sure, go for it. So he does that, he comes back, he gives me the deposit in cash, everything is gravy, and he leaves. Later on that night, I get an email of an e-transfer from this guy saying that he's giving me $60. Now he had already given me the $60 deposit in cash. I'm like, I message him before accepting anything. I message him and I'm like, you sent me an e-transfer for a deposit. I don't understand. Was this a mistake since you already gave it to me? You know, do you want me to use it as a payment on your tattoo, or do you want me to refuse it and send it back your way? Now, some people do this. I do have clients that do this. They're either really bad at saving money or any reason why, I have some people who will like send me $50 a week every week until they reach the full amount of their tattoo, and then they get tattooed. Some people do that. So I don't really think anything of it. He tells me he wants to use it as a payment on his tattoo, so when he comes over for the appointment, it's gonna be cheaper for him. Cool, not a problem. I accept it. Everything's gravy. So a couple months ago, and this all happened pretty recently, mind you. This was pretty recent. So about a couple months ago, I started giving myself weekends. Since I never really had them before, and I worked so much, as you heard of if you watched my last video. So I started giving myself 2 days off a week, and in that 2 days off, I do not check my phone. I turn off all notifications so I don't have my phone ringing, because I don't know about other tattoo artists, but for me, people message me all hours of the day. They'll message me both on my personal Facebook page and my professional Facebook page, and they'll just message me at 3 o'clock in the morning asking questions about a tattoo. So it gets overwhelming after a while, so I figured that 2 days off, no shop talk, I turn off my phone and I can just be a human being and not be in work mode. Now, this all went down when I took my 2 days off. Ugh. So my weekend is over and it's now Monday morning. I look at my messages on my Facebook page in the morning with my cup of coffee, and there is a truckload of messages from this guy. Now, there was still a little bit over a week before his appointment, okay? So I had about a week before 3 days prior to showing his drawing, okay? There was time. And he's sending me a bunch of messages, super angry, and that he wants to see his drawing now, and he doesn't think that I'm capable of doing this drawing, and he's super worried, and he's calling me all the names in the book, and obviously I wasn't responding in the 2 days, so he had time to send a bunch of messages being like,
"You're not answering me, you're avoiding me, hello, is anybody there? You ran off with my money, I want to see my drawing now." 3 days isn't enough to decide if I want this tattoo or not.
even though he had agreed on that during the consultation anyways. And then I see a notification, so I go check my notifications. He left me a bad review. He left me a 1-star review. Now, this got to me so much because you guys know, if you know me at all, I take my job very seriously and I try my best to please everybody. And this guy just shot me down from my consistent 5 stars that I have had for years. And you know how hard it is to keep everybody happy and to have everybody give you 5 stars and to keep that 5 stars consistently? It's kind of very hard, okay? And I had managed to keep that for the longest time, but he just shot me right down to 4.9 stars. Now I know some of you guys are probably saying like 4.9, it's not that bad, it's still good. But no, this sucked. Like, I worked really hard for those 5 stars. When you look at my name, it says 5 stars, and now it doesn't anymore. And on this review, he said that I took $120 of his money, because remember, he paid me the deposit twice, that I took the $120, wasn't giving him any news anymore, and just ran off with his money.
Boy, that is not what happened, okay?
So, I kindly messaged him back.
I'm so sorry. I don't understand what's going on. I thought that we had agreed that the way that I usually work is 3 days prior to the appointment I show you the drawing. What is changing now? And what's with the review? Like, why did you leave such a bad review?
He starts going off, saying that, you know, 3 days isn't long enough to decide if he wants the drawing or not, and all that fun stuff. So I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pull myself from this project altogether. I will not be tattooing this man. So I very kindly tell him that I won't be working with him. I won't be tattooing him. I'm very sorry. I don't think I'm the artist for you. Because I knew that if I was gonna try and calm him down and tattoo him anyway, there would have always been something that he wouldn't be happy with, and he would try to destroy my name in one way or another if I tattooed him or not. So I was like, you know what? I've been through this before. I'm just not gonna tattoo you. And mind you, I stayed very polite and respectful through the whole thing, okay? I was very professional through it, even though I was broken inside. Like, I'm gonna be fully transparent with you guys. When I saw that bad review and I saw that I wasn't at 5 stars anymore, I broke down crying. And I remember I didn't want to, because my boyfriend didn't know what was going on because I was just typing away on my phone. And I remember just throwing my phone on the bed, going into the bathroom, sitting on the floor and crying my eyes out because I was so mad that I wasn't at 5 stars anymore because I worked so freaking hard for those 5 stars, okay? So he says, okay, I don't want to work with you either, but I want my money back. I want my deposit back. Now, all of you guys, if you're tattooed, you know deposits are non-refundable. But he had given me 2 deposits. So I very kindly explained to him, not a problem, I will give you back your second deposit that you gave to me, but the first deposit is always non-refundable. You sign the paperwork, you know this, it is non-refundable. He starts going off.
I'm gonna sue you, I'm gonna ruin you, you have to give me back my money, that is not legal, blah, 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 I will sue you, I'm calling a lawyer right now.
So I'm like, okay, you know what? Okay, in my head, first off, if you go see a lawyer for $60, I'm sorry, but your lawyer will cost you hella more than $60. And if you take it all the way to court for $60, the judge will literally laugh in your face for $60. Suing someone over $60, okay? I'm like, you know what? I don't want to deal with this. But this guy seems to be a troublemaker. He seems to be a real Karen.
Can I speak to your manager?
Type of person. So I'm just gonna give him the money, okay? I'm just gonna give him the deposit. But I told him, come get your deposit and I will make you sign a form proving that I gave you back your $120, okay? So he says, okay, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward, he comes to get the deposit. Now, mind you, I'm not very polite. I try and stay professional, but I'm very stern with him. Sign the paper here, and I had an envelope with the money in it, and he's like, I want you to give me the money before I sign. And I'm like, hell no, I'm not stupid. So I counted the money in front of him and I was holding it out of the envelope, sign the paper, and then I will hand over the money because he seems to be quite the troublemaker. He signs the paper, I give him the money, I take the paper in my hand, and then he goes,
where's my paper?
I'm like,
Excuse you? You're the one who's threatening to sue me. I need this paper to prove that I gave you back your money. What the hell use are you gonna have with this paper? Proving that I gave you the money? You know I gave you the money. It's in your freaking hands.
Like, you're threatening to sue me. I need this for my protection. So he walks out the door and he's yelling and he is mad and he's saying,
I'm gonna ruin you. You're never gonna tattoo again. You just lost 16 clients because of me.
specific number 16. He tallied them. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? I've heard it all before. I know people like you. Just get out. Whatever. You don't scare me at all. Close the door, and that's the end of the situation. He never took down his bad review, so I'm still not at 5 stars, which really makes me mad because it's not an issue with a tattoo or anything like that. It's an issue with someone being like, all of a sudden, it's not okay to see the drawing 3 days in advance, even though I agreed to it like 2 weeks ago. But I do want to say on a side note though, that I'm so grateful for all my clients. You guys are so awesome, because when this had just happened, I talked about it briefly on my personal Facebook page. Everybody that I know that didn't already leave a review were going to my page and giving 5-star reviews to try and counterattack his negative review. So that was really, really sweet of you guys. Unfortunately, I'm still at 4.9. I don't know if there's any way for me to get back up at 5 stars, but it was so sweet to see all my clients, you know, they had my back and they went and gave a bunch of 5-star reviews to try and and up me to 5 stars again. So that was really nice. Gotta tell you, I have the best clients in the world. I love them so much. So that's it for me today. That's the story of the guy with the bad review and the guy who threatened to sue me over $60. Some people, I tell ya. So as per usual, I hope you enjoyed the video and do all the fun stuff with the buttons if you want to. If you don't, that's okay, but it would be pretty cool. And I hope to see you soon, and goodbye.